Hello, everybody. I'm Cassidy here from Endless Access, and I'm here joined by Manuel, who's on our games team. Say hello.
Hello.
We are here today to show off a bit of Threadbare, and specifically how you can contribute to it and how story quests work, a little bit of that. So let me show the agenda real quick, just so we're on the same page. Thanks for joining, first of all. If you're here in the chat, I have the chat pulled up so I can monitor if you have anything to say or share. Love for you to share in the chat. Let me actually make sure I can see that at all times so I can actually respond to you all. And then, yeah, so our agenda today is going over basically why Threadbare? Why are we doing this thing called Threadbare? So, and then we're gonna show it off a little bit so you can see a little bit what it looks like. Then we will have, we'll show you what story quests are and how that works. And then we're gonna dive into the Godot Editor, which is how you actually contribute to Threadbare, and we'll show you how that works. So yeah, pretty light agenda and pretty casual, but if there's anything, if you ever have any questions while you're watching live and want us to address anything, please message in the chat and we'll take a look at it and answer your question live. That's always good when it's interactive like that. So I guess very starting, it helps if I can speak. To start, first off, Manuel, can you share a little bit about yourself, I guess? For those of you who don't know, there was a whole interview with Manuel a few weeks ago in Spanish. If you speak Spanish or watch it with subtitles, it's very good. But otherwise, just a brief intro about yourself.
Yes, of course. Hello, I am Manuel Quiñones. I live in Argentina. I am a software engineer. I work for Endless since 7 years already, I guess. Yeah, that's a lot of time. And yeah, we are currently making Threadbare, this game. What else can I tell you about myself? Yeah, I have a lot of hobbies. I like sailing. I like juggling. And of course, I like video games.
Awesome. Yeah. And for those of you who maybe haven't tuned into a stream before with me, I'm Cassidy. I'm the community lead at Endless Access. And so you probably will see me around in our Discord if you join there, or on GitHub, or around on the internet talking about Endless and Threadbare and what we're working on. So Threadbare. Why Threadbare? We have this video game that we're making. I guess as an organization, Endless Access, our mission is to teach real skills through, especially to underserved people. And we do that through video game making. So not just like learning to code by making video games, which is a cool thing that a lot of people do, but actually learning all the other skills that comes with that. Like there's a lot of creativity and problem solving, teamwork and collaboration, things that are really useful to know and learn, whether you go into game development as a student or as a profession, or whether you're going into some other field for your career. Those are all skills that are still really helpful. And so we have a learning team who develops this curriculum. They don't like to call it curriculum because it's not a strict curriculum, but it's a learning program that they've developed that we partner with other organizations, and we run this learning program, and then learners actually go through and learn about all of the fundamentals of game design, and then their sort of final project or the thing that they do with that learning program is they contribute a quest to the game. So that's we have to have a game to be able to contribute to, and so that's what Threadbare is. So we'll start out. We can show off Threadbare a little bit, just to give you an idea of what it looks like. I'll share my screen here. I think I can do that and keep. Can I keep Manuel and me up? No, I don't have it set up for that. But I'll share my screen here to show you this is Threadbare. And let me I'm going to reload it so it starts at the beginning, because that is more interesting. So it's a Godot game, and you may have caught there it's actually running in the web. which is pretty cool that we can do that. It is not. How about I go to the beginning of the game? It loaded the phrase end. Okay. Manuel, I don't think you can see my screen right now, but it is the. I'm showing the game from the beginning,
Okay,
from the
I
intro
can
screen.
guess.
So it's this. There's this aesthetic that is a sort of a thread based. Everything's made like woven and made out of thread, but it's also it has this like pixel art influence, which is really fun. Gives it kind of this almost retro vibe, but it gives it this really nice aesthetic. I'm gonna click through the intro, and so then we see this is phrase end. This is our starting area, and you have your little character. What's the character called? The name of the character? It's this
The Story Weaver.
Story Weaver, right? Yeah.
Yes.
So you play as the Story Weaver, and you can talk to people. There's dialogue. There's this nice pixel art going on, and then you come into this town and you see these two elders. And I want to be clear too. This is very, very early in production, right? We consider this pre-alpha as far as a game goes, but we're actively using it for these learning programs. But yeah, so here is when you go, oops, helps if I click on the right place. When you go up to the elder, you get something called a lore quest. He says, "Hi, Story Weaver, we've been waiting for you. Our world is unraveling. We need you to recover the sacred elements, the threads of memory, imagination, and spirit. Will you help us?" Then you have your quests here. These are lore quests. And so, Manuel, I guess real quick to just give context about lore quests versus story quests. Mm-hmm. Lore quests are, how would you describe a lore quest, I guess, as somebody on the games team?
That's, we are trying to make not only a learning tool like we did in the past with, I can mention other projects like Model Platformer, etc. This time we want to make a real game. So Threadbare hopefully will be on Steam at one point. Hopefully. We want to make a real game and to get learners involved into it, not just a learning tool.
Yeah.
So the lore quests are supposed to be the game itself, like it contains the lore of Threadbare, this world that the player has to restore from. It has been destroyed basically, and by recovering the stories of the world, you help rebuilding it. And so that's what lore quests are.
So it's the core
story quest.
Lore quests are like, it's the core quests of the game. It's the actual gameplay of the game itself that you would play through. Yeah.
Exactly. And story quests are stories, also stories that help recovering the world, but they can be any story. So because these are contributed by learners or any other contributor, so they can be anything. They can happen in different in any lore, let's say. They don't have to be about the Story Weaver. They can be about other characters, protagonists, and happen in different worlds because these are stories. So
right. Yeah. So I'll show. Should we show actually? Maybe just for time, I'm wondering if we should show the story, the first part of the lore quest, I guess, or should we jump right into a story quest? I guess I can show the first part of a lore quest, show what we're working with.
Nice, yes.
I'm going to actually pull up I realized I was on the released version of the game. We recently merged in a story quest from an actual group of learners, which is really cool, really awesome, and we'll want to show that off later. So I'm going to load that version, the latest development build of the game. To make sure that I have that quest when we get there. And then, yeah, I'll show off a little bit of what it looks like. Let me transition over to show the screen again. So I'll run through, since I already showed off a little bit of the intro to phrase end, I'll run through the intro. then I can show what the lore quest looks like. So you go to the lore quest elder, you talk to them. We've been waiting for you. Our world is unraveling. We need you to recover the sacred elements. So this is the sort of core mechanic right now. And again, pre-alpha, very early. We're calling, I guess, Threadbare is a cozy action adventure game. And so we have this quest mechanic. So the musician's quest is the first one we have here. We believe in you, Storyweaver. And then we have a series of basically puzzles and quests that you can do. And these exist, like Manuel said, these exist to actually be the core game that's fun. But it also does exist as a way to show learners and contributors like what's possible in the game. So as we build out more quests and more things that are lore quests, that gives people more tools to build their own stories and quests as well. So we go here. There's a musician elder here. Our musician here, he says, another wanderer. Welcome to the song sanctuary, or what's left of it. What happened here? Songs stopped being sung, and when a song is forgotten, the world forgets itself. See those stones over there? They can be used to create music. The songs can make wonderful things happen, make items or creatures appear, or even open portals to other regions of Threadbare. Those altars, they hold the memory of each song in the ashes of their fires. Now, if I remember correctly, there's a song that used to open the portal to the Inkwell, where songwriters found the ink to write all the songs of the world. Let's see if I can remember how it works. Try tapping the first and second stones, then check the first altar above. If you see flames, we're on to the right melody. So it's, a lot of dialogue, setting kind of the story, doing a little bit of that, narrative-based storytelling. And then we go play the first two notes. I think I have to go listen to the 2, 3, 4. So yeah, the dialogue there doesn't quite match, I think, what I'm supposed to do, right? But again, pre-alpha, or I misread it. But we do the first melody there, and the first altar lights up. And so you can see how there's different puzzles like this throughout the game. And you can go through, and then there's another musical puzzle here. Then you have to kind of maybe decode what these symbols mean. And then you go on to the next part of the game. I do want to show, if I can exit to title, I want to show what a story quest can look like then. Manuel, if I continue after exiting the title, does it continue me from phrase end or from whatever scene I was in? Do you know?
I think it's the last scene.
Yep, it took me back to the musicians one. Oh, cool. So I'll just hit restart. Actually, do you want to demo the story quest?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay.
First, I wanted to mention something important. You just said that the lore and the story quest share the same building blocks, let's say. So the idea is that people doing a story quest, they are using exactly the same as the lore quest. So shouldn't be any difference. And yeah, I hope you can see my screen.
Yep, yeah, we can see it.
Instead of running it from the browser, I will run it directly from the Godot Editor.
Perfect.
And yeah, I can either run from the beginning, or what I usually do to try story quests is to run the Fry's End scene. And Cassidy, can you confirm that?
Yeah, I can see. Yep.
You can see it. Okay.
Yep.
So here is the story quest. The first story quest provided, because this one, Stella, we did ourselves just to test how the template worked. And then there is the template, but you can only play the template from the editor. I'm going to play El Juguete Perdido. It's like The Lost Toy. It's a story by learners from UTP, Miguel Navarro, Omar Mendez, and Marcos Cabaña. And yeah, I don't know if you want me to translate everything.
If it's if it's easy enough to
Mhm.
translate, yeah, that would be helpful probably.
Yes, uh, the sound is a little bit. The music is a bit confusing to hear, but I can tell. The story centers in the search of Apollo, a kid that is curious and brave and is missing after following their archy enemy, Python. The elder is worried about the absence of the grandson and tells the traveler to find them in the caverns of the forest where the goblins are. So I can play here. And this interesting thing about this story quest, they use the story weaver. So they use the same player as the lore quest. It wasn't forbidden, so um, so what it says here, you enter the forest basically, and each step um, was approaching the mysteries that were sleeping below the roots and shadows of that place. The grandson must be found. So, with a lot of determination, the story weaver enters the forest. And it says, Story weaver, this must be the path that indicated the elder, but this forest is full of dangers. I I must follow the threads that the child left. I must hurry up. So yeah, from the template that we provide, they didn't change many assets for here, but these red strings are new. They are like clues that I have to follow. Oh,
Uh-oh.
oh,
Uh-oh.
I guess. I was caught. Okay, let's try again. Oh, okay. Let's try again. One thing we are changing very soon is this intro message shouldn't appear every single time
Yeah.
you die, basically. Oh, this is closed. So where should I go?
Oh, how did you get by that guy? A lot of skill doing these stealth quests. You're way better at this than I am. When I went,
First is that this level really will welcome checkpoints.
yeah, yeah, because we have in the quest itself, in the lore quest, we that is a stealth puzzle. We have
Mm-hmm.
the scarecrow things. I forget what they're called. Are they just called scarecrows?
Yes.
Sorry, distracting.
Uh, they were replaced, so now there is a proper asset. Wow, this is hard.
Yeah.
I will try again. Okay, waiting. No, no.
So, as far as what the learners contributed for the story quest, they obviously said they contributed like that red thread is new. All of the the story and the dialogue itself is their original thing. Um, what about the motion of? I know we have like a stealth template.
Mm-hmm.
How does do they like lay out a path for those? Oh, he almost got you. Sorry. This is really hard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do they like
Exactly.
draw a path that then that enemy follows, and then but the rest of the logic is there provided by the game itself?
Yes. They use a template. We provide a template for them to them, And ouch.
Oh,
And they basically the most important thing they did here was to change do a level design. So they used the tile map editor to create a very different level, and also they changed, of course, the dialogues
yeah. Okay.
so to fit their story. But yeah, what they did was adding a bunch of these guard entities
Yeah.
that can't stop bothering me. And and each of these guards has a path, a walking path. So they also they did the level design by placing these guards and placing a line or a path
hmm
for them to follow. Maybe I can sneak. Ouch.
Oh.
Okay, let me see. Where is the ending of this?
little cheat by going into the editor,
Let,
right?
let
But
me
it's fun.
cheat a little bit. So there is stealth. This is the level, and I am supposed to go where? Okay, it looks like here is the ending. I can actually go like this. I will try.
We can always jump ahead to the next section too if it's too hard for time wise, because that showing off the editor there
Yes,
reminds me that it's really interesting to show the behind the scenes and show how a quest like this
yes.
is actually created. But
Yeah, that's a good point. Let me try once again, and
yeah,
if
no worries,
not,
no worries, no pressure.
uh, not here. Ow.
Yeah, yeah. I suppose if you're going through, you can kind of, if you're watching those guards each time, you can kind of get a sense of where their path is as a player, right? So you're saying, okay, they're going here, they're going
Okay,
here. Yay!
and this is the child.
I love the child. So
The
cute,
child Apollo is super cute,
so cute.
and now there's this other level. There are more enemies in the dark. The child says, "I've seen goblins throwing TNT,
Oh yeah,
but you can
yeah.
deviate it." So basically it tells me to explode the barrels that are blocking the way, and I can try to do that. Okay,
Yeah.
one.
Again, you're much better at this than I am. You've got all the mechanics down.
Okay,
I suppose that comes
and
with
now,
when you're playtesting a lot and developing the game. You naturally have to
yes, you
get a lot
become
of this down. I guess that's also why I
more
guess
again.
playtesting with outside people is so important, because I think as you're developing it, you get a sense of, oh yeah, it's easy. You just have to do this, and you forget what
Absolutely,
it feels like the
absolutely.
first time for somebody to play through.
Yes, we went through a couple of iterations just because of that. When I created the combat system, I thought it was easy,
Yeah.
but no, it was super challenging. Um, so here the learners have been doing quite some work on the level design. You can see the enemies are in a like in an elevation from yeah, they are like in over these pillars. Okay, I collected the thread. The explosion opened a path, but there is no time. We must trap Python. Python is the arch enemy. Python must not be far. It's time to trap them with, yeah, time to trap them. And this is something I really like. They changed the asset, um,
Is
so
he like
it looks
riding on
like
the back? That's so
it's
cute.
carrying.
That's so cute.
Yes, super cute.
I really like that.
So I collect this, and this part of the dialogue is very good because there you are. I don't know how to translate it, but it looks like the ship the enemy has become the ship. So
Yeah.
it even is grabbing something in the mouth.
Yeah, it's holding his little toy or something.
It
It's
the
cute.
This is the dialogue says.
Yeah.
Um, this is Apollo's toy, and the story quest is called the Lost Toy. So
Hmm.
this is the toy in the mouth of the ship, and says, "Thank you, adventurer. I thought I never will go back." And yeah, it's a funny dialogue.
Yeah. It's cute. It's really cute. And I like this was
Hmm.
a story quest that definitely it kept within the whole aesthetic of Threadbare. So because we've seen
Hmm.
other story quests where it's because it's a story quest, it doesn't have to be canon, it doesn't have to fit within the all of the constraints of the world, but it was really cool that these learners did stick within that because they're like, well, we can work with this, and they really told their own story. They did introduce a new character. They introduced some new elements, but it did feel like it's really part of the story, which was cool.
Yeah, I think these learners use the time availability of the program very well. They added little differences, but good differences like changing some assets and adding new assets.
Hmm.
But um, they scoped
Yeah.
the work done very well. Um,
Yeah,
there
because
were other teams that went crazy with changes, which is also very cool to see.
right,
Um,
because the learning program is was it 8, it's 6 weeks with 3 sessions a week. The learning program that made this quest, right? And so that's not
mhm.
it's not a lot of time when you're starting. You're not starting with, it's like, oh, that's a long time to do this, but you're not starting with day one. You're getting in there and building it. Like, you're actually learning, these learners are learning fundamentals of game design. They're learning how to work with others in a team. In some cases, they're learning how to use Git and Godot. They're learning how to use the pixel art editors. Like, they're learning a lot in those weeks. It's not just that many weeks to build a quest, and so it's really impressive when you see this, like, this complete story. I know other story quests we saw, had a really cool concept, but they didn't quite have the time to finish them. So they had to put a marker in and say, like, well, this is where it ends, but it could continue from here. Which we do want to accept those into the game too, right? We want to say,
Mhm.
you can contribute a quest that, as long as, like, what's there works and works within the game, it's okay if it's not finished. Just like the game itself is not finished in any way. It's pre-alpha as we consider it, um, but it has to be, it has to work functionally and technically, and then you can keep contributing to that over time, which is really cool. So it's a way to even your work in progress can be sort of shared with the world, which is really cool. I think that's an important part that I'm excited to see more of that as we do more of these learning programs and have more people contributing.
Yes, and as you said in the very beginning about why Threadbare, when you mentioned the different skills,
Mm-hmm.
um, this is not a programming uh, lessons that we're not using this only for programming. Is Making a game requires many different skills, and the idea is that teams can do whatever they want. So they can do some level design and no assets at all, or
Right.
but if there is one that likes editing graphics or creating their own graphics, they can do so, or adding their own music or sound effects even.
Yeah, exactly. Games are so multidisciplinary and multi like,
Mhm.
and that's part of our learning programs we're building are focus on that. They say, you know, they have these different tracks that you can focus on of here's art and design, here is even though like there's go to market, which is things like recording a trailer for your story quest, or you know planning how you would actually like talk about it more publicly, and like there's all these different disciplines that are required. And so it's cool to let people that maybe they're not interested in programming, maybe they don't want to write any code, but they have a
Mhm.
creative outlet where they can really design their own thing. Or maybe they are really into storytelling and they want to just tell a story using this as an interactive storytelling format. And the story quests allow for that creativity. Whereas on the lore quest side, you know, there's a game we're building a game that has its own lore and story, and there's more constraints there. And so it still is multidisciplinary, and we'll still have people that maybe they go through doing a story quest and they learned some skills and they want to keep contributing. And so then now they're like, well, when I worked on the story quest, I got really good at doing this sort of pixel art. I would love, what other art do we need for the game itself? And they can contribute in that way. And that's the really exciting part to me, where it's like the story quest is more free and open, but
Mhm.
then it can be that pathway to like contributing to the core game. So I guess would be interesting to show next is a little bit, you saw a little bit of the editor on Manuel's screen earlier, but how would how does somebody actually make a story quest? What does that actually look like?
Excellent. So we have a template, a story quest template. It is a folder here in yellow. I hope you can see it.
Oh, let me hide your face over, because I think your face is over it right now. Let me.
Okay.
Oops. Yeah, it's
So
okay.
these are the files or resources in the Godot project, and we added a color code. So lore quest is violet, story quests are green, and there is a template inside story quests that is yellow. So basically, you start duplicating the template and then using the files, renaming the files, and using them for your story quest. We are going to automate this a bit more because the template considers the following scenes. There's an intro, and at the beginning there is an outro at the end, and there are three levels which match the three levels we have in the lore quest today,
Yeah,
that are stealth, combat, and sequence puzzle. But as the lore quest is going to grow in the near future, the template is going to be just the intro and outro, and then you fill wherever levels you want in the middle.
gotcha. So you'll
That's
create your own, yeah, create your own levels rather
Yes,
than
that's
starting with those
how
three.
you will be creating your own.
Yeah, because I could see how if you're creating a new quest, you're like, well, okay, I guess these are the levels that we have to have, and it doesn't have to be that. They don't have to be those levels in that order that do those three mechanics. You could
Mhm,
do. It's
mhm.
more open than that.
Maybe I can show you how it will work in the near future if you
Sure.
want.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be helpful.
And I can tell you about this quest.tres file as well.
Yeah.
So let me switch to a branch I have here is story quest automation. And okay, reload. And what this provides is a tool here that it's not appearing because I have to reload. One second. And okay. So there is a tool, there is going to be a tool called Create Story Quest from Template. You access it from this drop-down menu. You go to Project, Tools, Create Story Quest from Template, and this dialog, this pop-up will appear. And here I will type the title, I don't know, Little Big Adventure. This is going to be the title of my story quest, and it shows the folder that is going to create.
Nice.
And here a description. This is an optional description. This is my little big and create. Once you do that, it selects automatically the folder here. And if I play the game, I will play it from phrase hand. Maybe we should change the main scene to be phrase hand instead of the
Yeah.
intro.
Yeah, maybe.
Talk to the story quest elder, and here I have Little Big Adventure, and it's ready to play.
Nice.
But right now it is only an intro and an outro from
Right. The template
this
with
little guy.
even the template little guy, the
This is
gray.
a,
Yeah.
this is a template, yeah. And the text tells you this is a template and to replace it. And
You made it
this
to the
is the
closing scene.
closing
Yeah.
scene. Yes?
Cool. Yeah, so it's pretty easy to go from, I mean, you don't have to walk through all of this in detail because it'd be a lot, but you know, you would check out the source code of the game, right? And then
Mhm.
you would come in here and then you create your own folder. Whether you know, in the future having that a little bit more automated is really nice. And then you have your own quest, and it's there in the book of story quests, and then you can work within that folder that you've created, and you can make your own, tell your own story.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then by opening the intro scene, I can, for instance, replace the image that says replace me.
Yep.
And this is showing file system. Yeah. This is here. Intro image inside intro inside my story quest. So I can open this with an external program. Oh, it's opening the GNU image manipulation program for me. And now I can replace it with, I don't know, uh, for now, just this.
Beautiful, beautiful artwork. For anybody who doesn't
Sorry.
know, Manuel is an amazing artist in addition to being an amazing engineer. So it's really fun. It's really funny to me seeing Manuel produce beautiful artwork like that.
And oh, this happens so often
Yeah,
to me.
we'll notice that on our last stream too. When you switch
The
away with a
tooltip
tooltip
here,
open, it
yeah,
hangs.
this tooltip here is okay. Let
It's
me
interesting.
close Godot and open it again.
This is good though. This shows, you know, even the experts behind the scenes have issues like this, right?
Yes, this is a problem that has to be worked upstream in
Yeah,
Godot.
in Godot itself. Which, I mean, it is an open source project, so that's there's always that potential we can
Exactly.
file a bug, and if we figure out what's causing it, we or somebody else could fix it.
Yes, exactly. Okay, the idea was that I show you that changing this automatically updates Godot. So let me do something else and export, replace, and well, export again, and it
Oh,
updates automatically.
awesome. Yeah.
And Other things you can do, well, you can change whenever you want from this intro and outro. These are cinematic, we call them cinematic scenes because what they do, there's a character which I can, of course, you can change the template of the character. If you want, you can draw your own character, or you can use, I don't know, I can use the ink drinker, maybe.
Hmm.
Okay,
Did it
what's
freeze up on you?
happening here? Again? No, not again. Okay. This is not.
Maybe it's
Uh,
something with like sharing when you're sharing the screen or something. I don't know
maybe
because it seems like we don't hit
maybe it's
that issue.
scary because it doesn't. It happens sometimes, but it doesn't happen that this
Yeah,
often.
yeah, that's
Two times
interesting.
in a row was like too much for me.
Yeah,
Uh, mm, so I go here, quick load, and I can use ink drinker purple, and now I have a different character, and I can play this scene. And what it does is play this. The cinematic has an animation player. Animation player is this and has walk on and walk off animations. So I can play them from here. This is an animation, another animation, and the dialogue. Cinematic has a dialogue, and the dialogue basically triggers these animations. It triggers the walk on animation, waits until it's finished, and then presents the dialogue itself, and then plays the other one. So if I play everything, you can see the character enters, stops, dialogue appears, and then the other animation is played.
nice.
So you can change that. You can change this text to be the intro of your story quest, of course.
Right.
You can also change the animation to be anything you want.
Hmm.
Maybe you want another element, another game character appearing here, changing instead of the position. I don't know. Maybe we can change direction or anything.
Hmm.
There's a rock here. Maybe you can use the rock or add other props.
Yeah,
Change the tile map. Even there is a tile map here. You can draw.
yeah. I think the tile map is really interesting because that's where I go to
Mhm.
first when I'm thinking about okay, I want to make a game. It's like all right, I want to draw what it's gonna look like. Just even using the tiles that are already there before swapping out the tile set.
Mhm. Yeah, there are
Some tears.
some tears, and yeah, this is just the intro and outro. Well, another thing that the cinematic does is tell the program what's the next scene to be played, which in this case is the outro.
Hmm.
But let's suppose I create a new level.
Yeah.
So by creating a new level, what I can do is copy it from the template. For instance, I want a sequence puzzle. Oh, not again. Okay, the tooltip appeared again.
Oh no. Yeah, I do wonder because, like you said, I've seen that bug very infrequently. I wonder if it has something to do with
Yes,
screen sharing. That could be
we
why we
do
see it on
work
streams.
every day.
Yeah.
I work every day with this, and I see it once in a while,
Right.
not even once in the same day. So happening three times in a row it probably is because of the streaming, probably. So I was saying maybe I want to add a level to my story quest, and then I can duplicate the stealth. The stealth is very popular because it's so cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I can copy, I can duplicate two, and then select my quest, story quest, Little Big Adventure, copy, and now I have the template,
Yeah.
the template of the stealth, which I can rename to just stealth
Are the
one
numbers
stealth.
in are the numbers in those scenes in the folder names? Do those do anything functional, or is that mostly just an organizational thing to help it make it easier
It's
to like sort?
organization.
Okay, because I know
Yeah, it's just organization.
in the past when with Candy Wrapper we did something where like if you numbered them it would do them in that order, which is cool. Um, but you have to balance that like too magic. You know, if it's too magic, then becomes hard to work with sometimes if things go wrong.
Mhm. Exactly, because what matters here is the next scene here.
Yeah.
Let's see. Okay, so I have stealth, and what I can do, I can rename this as well. So it is just stealth. And from the intro, what I can do is drag and drop here. So it's not that bad. It can
Mm-hmm.
be magic, but doing this is already okay.
Yeah.
And so after I play the intro, this template scene will appear. Let's see. I play the intro. The intro happens. And now I have
You have a stealth
this
scene.
stealth game. What what I forgot to do is to connect the ending of this one
Mm,
with the outro,
right.
um, because otherwise I finish this and I don't know what's going to happen. Probably it's going to go to the
Back to phrase end maybe, or does it?
no. I think it's going to be the next scene in the template
Oh, right,
folder.
because it's from the template originally.
Let's
Interesting.
see. No, it doesn't have anything, so it will not know where to go.
It just wouldn't go anywhere.
But we can put the outro here and here. And now, like this, should go to our outro. But right now it looks exactly, oh, that's not what I want to do. Because it's not here in the cinematic. Is after you grab this item,
Right. You were just saying after the little intro to that scene itself, just go to the next scene.
yes,
Yeah.
it did what I
Did what you told it,
it did
not what you
what I
wanted.
told
Yeah.
to do. Um, so yeah, the collectible item also has a next
Oh,
scene.
cool. Yeah.
So after you grab it, it goes there, and yeah, it was going to the template combat. I want it to go to my outro instead, so I drag this, and now it should work. So
Yeah, that's cool. The collectible item itself has. Oh, you can get by him so fast. The collectible item itself has a next scene, which again comes
mhm,
from. It's like that's how we've designed the game itself to work. You know, with our quests, and so then that has come and now is something that learners can use when they're building their own quests. So it's like you don't have to start completely from scratch when you make a story quest. You have all the hooks that we use to make the game itself, which is nice.
exactly. Yeah, and now that I decided that the ink drinker is going to be my character, I can put it in the outro and in the stealth as well as a character.
Hmm. Yeah, so your character doesn't change between the different scenes.
And yeah, and of course from the you have seen what learners did here, so you can change the dialogue, you can change the assets of the characters, you can change the enemy guards. You can see here that this enemy is going back and forth
There's the
this
path. Yeah.
then you can see the path of this other one. So you can add more guards and you can edit their walking path. So I can it's hard to see, but there is a line here. Can you see it?
Oh yeah, that diagonal line.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. It's very similar to the grass color, but I can see when you zoomed in.
Is unfortunately is also green,
Mm-hmm.
but yes, this way we can change the path of this card here, and then when we play, maybe it's better if you first create the tile map or change the tile map.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's not just the same sort of
And,
level as everyone else, but it's
Mhm.
cool to see. Yeah, you can really change what feels like AI whatever. It's like, oh, it's the enemy is just following a path, right? Like it's pretty simple under the hood, which makes sense. Um,
It's pretty simple under the hood. Yeah,
but it can
yeah.
really change the feel of it. Like
Difference
you could
between
have them go back and forth to one place a few times and go somewhere else, like by just drawing that path out using Godot's editor's built-in like tools.
Mhm. Yeah, it goes always back and forth the path, and but when it detects you, it chases you
Yeah,
for
it'll
some
come
time,
off the
and
path. Yeah.
if it catches you, you die, and
Oh, and that was
you
interesting because the ink drinker has a different death
defeat
animation, I guess,
animation.
defeated
Yes,
animation. Yeah, it's like it's not death,
yeah,
but defeated. Um, and I didn't realize that. That's really cool that it automatically, because
yes.
we didn't just change a sprite on the level. We changed the whole resource for the character. So
The
you
whole
get,
resource, which is
yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really cool. So you get all of those other, if you're going to reuse these existing characters that exist in the game, you don't have to like go in and manually set up all the animations yourself. They're already set up as part of the resource, and then they can be reused.
yeah, yeah.
Awesome.
Um, Basically, all characters have an idle animation and a walk animation, and a defeated animation for when they are defeated as well. Mhm.
Are there assumptions built in about like how many frames these animations are, or will it just play however many frames you put there? Do you know?
Yeah, there are some constraints right now because the player, if I show you the player,
Oh, it wanted to freeze up on you again. There's the tooltip. Yeah, that's
back
wild.
here happening. I saw that the tooltip was staying there.
Just looking at the time, we have
So yeah,
time check. We have about
now,
5 minutes left, which is good. This is still great. I think we're doing
oh
fine.
yeah, I
But
wasn't aware of time.
if there was anything else that you specifically wanted to show, I just realized I'm like, wow, we've burned through a lot of our
It's
time here,
true.
which
It's
has
true.
been really fun.
No, it was just to answer your question.
Yeah.
The players have the currently the animations are constrained because there are the frames are used in another animation, which is animation player, um, just to get in sync with the sound effects
Right. Yeah.
and other animations. For instance, this is the repel animation, You can see it here.
Mm-hmm.
It's playing, and in the middle, a collision shape is being
Mm.
uh, visible, making visible and invisible,
Mm-hmm.
as you can see here,
Yeah.
happening, and a sound effect is also. So once you start doing animations in a more complex way, not just frame by frame, but also adding, changing other values like collision shapes and adding sound effects, you do it in this way.
Yeah.
And so they are in sync. The
Yeah.
sound effect plays exactly at the frame you want, and because of that, we have to constrain the
The number of
frames,
frames. Yeah. Which
the
makes
number of
sense. That's
frames.
I always forget that,
Mhm.
yeah, animations are this like superpower in, I don't know if it's the same, it's probably the same in any engine, but especially I've seen in Godot of like, it's not just animating, it's animating and then you can do other things with it too. You can make other
Mhm.
objects visible or invisible, or like I said, play sounds, which is really cool so that it's always in sync. Um, yeah, yeah, that's true. So you couldn't just drop in an arbitrary number of frames and have it make sense. And I guess there's one other thing I wanted to point out too, which is like because Threadbare itself is open source, and when you get it, when you're going to contribute a story quest, like you get the whole source code, all of the assets, everything. If you ever wonder, this is always to me a superpower of open source. Like if you ever wonder how we did something in the core game itself, you have it all right there. Like you can just
Exactly.
browse
Mhm.
the game. You can go see how you can even see how other quests from other learners were built, because all of that data is there. It's all open, which is super powerful as a learning resource for me. As somebody, I'm fairly I'd say like more of a self-guided type learner. Like I like to just try things and figure it out myself. And that's always really
Mhm.
cool. That's why one reason I love open source is you can dig into how somebody else did it and learn from that. So you don't just have to know inherently how to do it. You can go see how somebody else did.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, and as we
Yeah.
as
As a
we
last
add,
thing,
oh, go ahead. Yeah.
yeah, I forgot to say, the quest.tres file is the resource file that contains the title and description
Yeah.
that you added through this automation here. But there are more fields into that, like the authors, which is important, and
Yeah.
affiliation, and you can edit it by double clicking it here, and it will appear here in the inspector, so you can edit it and give credits to your teammates.
Yeah, and that shows in the story quest book. When you actually open that up and see, it'll give you the description of the quest, and it'll say a quest by these names, from this affiliation, which is really cool.
Hmm.
So you're being credited for your work, and so you contribute a story quest. You can tell your friends once it gets merged in, and the next release of Threadbare happens. You can tell your friends, go play Threadbare, and you'll find my quest in there, and they can see that it literally has your name on it, which is really awesome. Awesome. I think that's a great place to wrap up. Um, Thanks so much for joining me today, Manuel. This was good.
Thank you, Cassidy. Yeah,
Um,
and I hope more people contribute story quests to Threadbare.
Absolutely. Yeah, like I said, we have that one. We have one from a learning group that just got merged in, and it'll be in the next release when that comes within the next few weeks. And then we have another one that I know is being worked on. I know you're helping the team really, really carefully, and that's actually
Hmm.
it's actually something that's really, I guess, really important to share is that we're available. It's an open source game, and that doesn't just mean the source code itself is open. It means we have a community of people,
Hmm.
both the core group of people working on the game, also other learners who have gone through programs and are working on their own quests. So the community can also be a huge superpower for contributing. I had text for joining it, and I apparently changed that text when I added the agenda and didn't know that I did that, but I can type it up real quick here. Um, so yeah, if people want to contribute to Threadbare itself or contribute their own story quest and they're not in a learning program, they can do that. They can go to github.com/endlessm/threadbare, and that's where all the source code is stored. And I can show that on the screen. And then to actually join the community itself, we have that's where we hang out, we chat. That's where the developers actually, you all actually are talking through. Here's what I'm working on next, which is really fun to see. It's really cool to see, new mechanics that are in the works and that might inspire you if you're making your own quest. And you can also see things like, just the discussion that happens and actually get involved in the core development. And that's going to be at discord.gg/join. Endless is the easiest link there. Or if you go to the GitHub page, you can also just see the join link there and join our community, join our GitHub. Thank you all for joining, and hopefully this was helpful. And we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye bye.